The Joe Rogan Experience.
And for people who don't know, your career was taken from you in a way that you feel like didn't medically make sense. They told you to stop fighting because explain the whole heart condition thing.
Well, it was in the build up to the Mike Brown fight.
I
am part wolf. Yes,
excellent.
yeah. I won't tell you which part. Yeah, it was in the build up to the Matt Brown fight, and because it's California, they required a bunch of different tests, and it showed up as an irregular heartbeat. It's like I have a second heartbeat, so it's another bunch of cells in the heart that produce an electrical current, and it can confuse the heart, cause cardiac arrest. It can cause electrical issues with the heart. I'd never had any problems, never had any symptoms and side effects or anything like that. So basically what they told me is that if I wanted to continue fighting, I had to have an ablation. So they had to go into my heart and they had to burn the cells that were producing the second electrical current.
Fuck that.
I've never had anything wrong with me at all. Healthy. I've pushed myself to whatever limits I think I've got, and I'm hoping to find some more. But I push myself. I know what my heart's capable of. And I've never doubted it. I've never felt like it was
you were known for
let
having
me
good
down.
cardio.
Yeah, I always pushed the pace, and so I just didn't want to have anything done. They literally said to me, "You can have it done and still fight on the same day." This was 5 weeks before the fight.
Oh my god!
So it just didn't
have it
done. Yeah.
5 weeks. So how much recovery time?
Oh, practically none. So they go into the carotid artery and the femoral artery, and they go into the heart. But Lorenzo sent me out to California.
With what? What are they going in there with?
I don't know. Some cables and wires.
Laser beam, bro. This sounds like a
the
superhero movie. Goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And then I end up being Iron Man. I mean,
yeah, you come out with powers.
But Lorenzo sent me out to Beverly Hills to a specialist out there to have more checks done, and they couldn't find any anomalies with my heart, no like additional growth or anything like that. So I just said I'm not having anything done. I went back to the UK, and then I was busy for a few years doing the commentary. But I did go and see a specialist, a cardiac specialist for athletes, and he put me through all the same tests, and he pointed out what they'd seen, and he said that it could have been accentuated because I was weight cutting, I was in training camp, I was tired. He said, but ultimately there's nothing in these records that show that you can't fight and you're not safe to fight. So I have the paperwork now. So 4 months in, you started a testing pool, and I've just got the option to step back in there. I would like one more because I never felt like I showed what I'm fully capable of.
When was the last time you sparred?
Oh, I spar regularly. I drop in the gym because I've got guys that are training for fights. So we've had Terry Brazier fighting recently, Adam Amersinger, Dean Truman fought recently. So I've been in there moving around with those guys.
And you've never really gotten out of training. You've always trained martial arts this whole time, right?
Yeah, and I've always stayed healthy. I never gained any. I actually lost weight after I stopped fighting because, my diet changed. I didn't feel the need to be constantly eating all the time. So I allowed my body just to kind of figure out where it wants to be naturally. 182, 184 is perfect for me. So my plan is just to kind of get to about 85% condition and just sit there. And then, this weekend is a great example. If Pettis or Diaz fell out and there's no one else around, that's the kind of place I'd just throw my name in the hat and just to be available. And one of those fights will be perfect for me. Just one of the veterans of the game, someone that's not too concerned with the rankings or anything like that, drop in there, have a great fight, and then step back out again, and just be able to.
How you'd like to approach it? You want to immediately jump back in and fight someone with a big name?
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't want to, because I'm having one more fight. I want someone.
Just one more. That's it.
I want someone that everyone knows.
But if you love it, though.
Well, I know I will love it, but I feel very selfish thinking about fighting again anyway, because it's not what I've realized since I've been fighting is it's not just me coming out of retirement. It's my whole family. I was there when Till got knocked out in London. I was there when Gunnar Nelson got knocked out in Glasgow. I see the reactions of their family. I know what I put my family through, and because I've had time to kind of step back and allow them some time to, their hot souls aren't as calcified to the idea of me fighting anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a serious conversation to have. But the reality is the sport's very different now. Everything's changed. When I was fighting GSP, the conversations I was having with the media was, what we are and aren't allowed to do. What's legal, what's illegal. So it wasn't really about what I was doing. It was about I was basically being an ambassador for the sport while I was in training camp. So now it would be far more of an internal journey. I'd be able to really embrace it a lot more and focus on myself. And now I've got my camera guys. I'd like to document the process. I'd like to be able to speak quite candidly to the camera and just bank a load of stuff. So after the fight, I've got all this all this footage that I can put into something to kind of give some insight into the mentality of the fighter and the ups and downs of training camp. Because, you know, the days you show up to media day, to the press conference, and you're like, you know, you're confident on the stage and you shit talking your opponent and you're smiling and stuff, like, you might get back to your dressing room and you might be exhausted. You might feel like shit. You might have been playing a game for a particular reason, and there's a good reason you're playing that game. And I think that a lot of those narratives go untold because the sport moves so quickly. And I think I might be able to give like a nice little insight into that.
So if we are going to expect this, how much time do you think you need to fully prepare? Where are you at right now?
I always work on percentages. I would say physically, I would say I'm about, I don't know, about 58% condition.
58. That's an interesting number.
Yeah.
How did you choose that?
Well, because I'm working through a couple of injuries, so I've not been doing a lot of hands-on stuff. I've been doing a lot of training on my own. I'm starting to build up my aerobic base again. But the one thing I've noticed is, and like I smoke most days, like my conditioning, like always is good. Like I can just get out and run 10 miles and feel comfortable with it, and that's never changed. So all I need to do is just kind of test the toughness in that condition now and push it, you know, to the points where I feel uncomfortable.
How old are you now?
37.
Dun dun dun.
But I'm healthy. I've not drank in 20 years. I've had a ibuprofen since 2009. You know, I have nothing.
And you have been out of competition for how many years now?
It's been 7 years now.
7 years,
yeah.
bro.
But I told you I work in cycles.
You do.
This is my this 7-year cycle.
7-year cycle?
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, I hope you do it. I hope you fulfill your vision quest like Matthew Modine in that movie.
Thanks, man.
Just fucking do it. It would be beautiful to see.